Hey, what's up, everybody? I wanted to take a minute and welcome you to the Donut Shop Podcast. I had a suggestion from somebody who watches the show and thought it was a good idea. I'm always open to suggestions about the show. And he mentioned that I never usually introduce myself, or at least tell you about who I am. And with adding new fans or new viewers all the time, it might be a good idea to go over that. So my name is Justin. I've been a police officer for 20 years. I'm actually getting ready for retirement. I'm going to retire and start doing this podcasting stuff full time. During my career, I've worked on road patrol. I've been a crisis negotiator, did that for about 8 years. It was great training, learned a lot about mental health and working with people. I was a school resource officer. I worked in the elementary school and then in the high school. I did that for 6.5 years. Then I also moved into the community resource unit and public information officer unit. So I did a lot of community engagement. I ran our social media for the department. And then I also spoke with the news. Kind of leads into this, even though I was a podcaster before I was in that unit. I've been doing podcasting since about 2012. I started with a soccer podcast with some friends for a local soccer team. We had a great time. It was a little different than this, obviously, but I was on the mic and doing that kind of stuff. Then eventually in 2020, started this podcast with a friend of mine, Nick, and he's no longer on the show, but the show drives on. And here we go. Basically, it's a cop sitting in a donut shop and someone interesting walks in. They don't always have to be law enforcement based. As a law enforcement officer, we know when we're in uniform, pretty much everybody comes up and talks to us, especially when we're trying to take a break and eat dinner or eat a lunch or something like that. It's not usually a bother, and sometimes you get interesting stories out of it. So that's kind of where I created the premise for this podcast and what it is today. Now let's get into the episode.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
Dramatic.
Sitting down for the Dr. Phil, the Dr. Phil episode. Yeah, I might as well.
You recording?
Yeah,
You're notorious for that.
That was recording. Yeah, this is the most important part that I don't record on.
You managed to save that one, other than honorable one.
Yeah, I saved that other than honorable one. What are they? Jimmy's doing something called Touch Point or something like that. Touch my point. I don't know. Something. Not you, Jimmy. Oh. Jimmy version 1. So welcome back to the Donut Shop Podcast. I'll leave that in, us just talking shit. I am here, as you may have seen, wherever I dropped the Jimmy one. Oh, your monster was apparently the counterbalance for this table. We are here in I think this is the Counterculture Inc. night shift set. Just go ahead and drink that.
Let's party.
The Counterculture Inc. set for the night shift, Thursday nights at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Eastern for the boys. Part of also joined in with the Antihero Broadcast studios. We just wrapped an episode a little bit ago and taking the opportunity with me being up in Orlando to knock out a couple of my episodes.
Yeah.
So Donut Shop Podcast. Tyler's already been on an episode, so we already got Tyler's background. Okay. Feel free. I'll throw it up in whatever corner.
Man, that wasn't, I don't think it was 2 years ago, but it was close.
It was within 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was over a year ago.
When's the Star Wars convention in Orlando?
I don't know. It wasn't a Star Wars convention. It was a drinking convention.
It was drinking
so
Star
it was
Wars
during
themed.
the Panthers' second big playoff run when they won their first championship.
Dude, no, it was a Star Wars thing.
It was my Star Wars group.
Yeah.
But I remember we watched a Panthers game one of the nights.
Okay.
I don't know. It was a long.
Did you dress up in costume? Yes or no?
No
Okay.
costume.
Then it
no
wasn't
costume.
a Star Wars thing.
No, it was the Star Wars nerds getting together
For
to
something
get
different.
wasted to drink. So yeah, Tyler came over, did the show. I linked it up above.
Pretty sure there was like a passed out dude.
Yeah, there was air mattresses. It was a large room. It was
About the size of this room.
about the size of this room with just as many couches. Yeah, so we did that, went through the background, went through and talked about a different version of Antihero, but just like Reader's Digest version or Wikipedia version that you wrote yourself, not that some community person wrote. Go through Antihero, kind of like your iterations of it. I'll move some of these. I'll eat one of these donuts. And
There you go. That same time, I thought I did the whole podcast thinking those were real.
Yeah, these donuts.
They look real.
I mean,
They make me hungry.
the dogs would probably eat them and be fine, at least for an hour.
Are they dog treats? Dog
No,
toys?
those are magnets for refrigerators that I got off of Amazon.
Yeah, so Antihero, I started in my den. I told myself every single week, to go back, I got kicked off SWAT.
Mhm.
And SWAT was giving me 70, 80 hours a week to fulfill my time. So once I got kicked off SWAT, because I'm me,
Because you push buttons and you rub people the wrong way.
yeah, I had a lot of time to fill. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a podcast. And I just started YouTubing. And I YouTubed what I needed, or what I thought I needed.
Yeah.
And then I YouTubed top 5 things to make sure your podcast succeeds. One of them was consistency.
70. There's 70 YouTube videos about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
And,
consistency.
I decided I was going to do it once a week in person. I eventually did start doing remote ones, but they were extra to get my 4,000 hours on YouTube, because I had started my podcast probably like 20 episodes in or so. I realized at that rate I was not going to be monetized. I needed more watch time. So I brought a remote like element into it eventually.
Yeah.
That is also to reach people that I wouldn't be able to reach otherwise. And but I did an in-person one. Every episode I had. The first episode was me talking like an idiot. I don't even think the mics were on.
Yeah.
And then I had a co-host for a while, and then he started getting kind of weird a couple months in, and then he's like a mortal enemy of mine now. Just talks shit online all the time about me, but
Yeah. Jeez.
people hate success.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of haters, but
Yeah.
But I mean, so I had a co-host, but he wasn't the most reliable dude in the world. So I had a co-host most of the time. All I cared about was having someone else with me.
Yeah.
I did the stereotypical thing. I just started interviewing family and friends,
Right.
like to get your reps in, because you don't have anybody else to talk to, because no one knows who you are, so they're not going to come on.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people look at it in the lens of, the talent left back a couple months ago, and Tyler's been making the business decisions, and who I bring in and who I bring on is a business decision. It wasn't like I got lucky and lost it.
Yeah.
It was a calculated decision. At one point, I think around episode 30, I was like, I need a permanent co-host now.
Yeah. Somebody to really sign on and commit to
Yes.
this thing.
I went through a bunch of people in my head, weighed the options, didn't ask anybody, because I just didn't want, to have to tell somebody no. Like I made a different decision, but I kind of went through and was looking at people I've had on. I had like 3 people in mind, but there was this guy when I was on SWAT. There was this Delta Force dude who came in. He had just gotten out apparently, and he was training the SWAT team. Really quiet dude, didn't have a lot to say. Very very quiet, humble dude. A different dude.
Yeah.
What we know now, but
Yeah.
very quiet, very humble. Not saying either or is right or wrong. It's just at the time he had just gotten out.
Yeah, it was
He
just
a
it was
professional.
a natural progression of the persona being created.
Because when you get out of the military or government work in general, you're like, I don't know what I can say or tell people, what I can talk about, especially on podcasts. Like you have to kind of like learn that, so especially being a tier 1 operator. I had messaged him and said, hey, you trained my SWAT team a couple months ago. Would you come on the show? So we're not right at the time where I decided I needed a co-host, but I contacted Brent Tucker to be on episode 12 of the Antihero Podcast. He came over to my house. The numbers, that was my first time ever where I saw thousands of views. because Delta Force.
Yeah.
Right on the thumbnail.
Fucking
And it just
word.
kept getting more and more and more. There wasn't too many Delta Force guy in the sphere. The Brovet community was going down as the soft community thing, the soft special operations forces like hype was starting to rise. And so he emailed me back, yeah, absolutely, man, let's do it. So he came on, did it. It was great. And then a couple months went by, and he and Brent Tucker had launched, or he's about to launch, a cigar arm of his business. So he was like, hey, man, I had hit him up, like, you want to come back on? He goes, yeah, dude, because we can line it up with my cigars. So he was like, the only thing I ask is I want to smoke cigars in it. And, you know, I did it out of my den in my house. I'm sure he was assuming that we couldn't just fucking. So I was like, yeah, dude, let's film it at your, at the time, place of business. So we go and we cut an episode there. We were wearing like ski masks. We were just goofing off. And we did Delta Force and Cigars episode, it's 30 something, I think, 35 or something like that. And again, it did well. I think it was a 2-part actually, because it was a long episode. And in the first one, Brent goes, I mean, everybody knows Rob O'Neill didn't kill Osama bin Laden. I was like, what? I was like, no, say that into the mic. Like that.
I've seen this clip. I've seen the clip of this.
He goes, yeah. So I clipped that, and that was the first clip I thought I had virality at one point. No, millions of views on every platform. Apparently, that wasn't common knowledge. It wasn't to me. I was very surprised. Like anybody else, I thought Rob O'Neill had killed Osama bin Laden. Allegedly.
Because that's what he told you.
Yeah, allegedly. So he decides, he's like, dude, we can't just leave it at that, man. We can't just leave it at that.
So he got bit.
We didn't get bit, but now he was held accountable for those words. The internet was like, wait, what? I was done. I'd gotten my clip, my reel, great episode. I was good.
Yeah.
And,
on to the next one.
Yep. And he goes, I want to do another one. I go, okay. He's like, it's going to be a Rob O'Neill call-out episode.
Jesus.
I go, okay. Episode 37. Mind you, a lot of people don't know this. Brent Tucker was not a host or an owner of the Antihero Podcast when we did that. He was a guest for a third time.
Yeah.
After doing that, that was the first big wave for Antihero. I mean, it was like, that put us on the map. I crunched the numbers. I made a whole fucking little clear pamphlet thing with everything.
Oh, I thought you were saying like the fucking pink, blue, yellow
little fucking
fortune teller. Fortune teller. that's what you just did.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You are gay.
But he makes fun. I mean, he makes fun of me to this day about it. I brought in, like, I put a lot of work into that. All the analytics, all the projections, everything.
You did a pitch deck.
Yes. Yeah. If you sign on right now as and I gave him the options. I was like, co-owner or do you want to be a contractor? Do you want to be a hired gun? I just want you to host. And so we came that he would be co-owner. The company was worth nothing at the time. In fact, it wasn't even a company.
Yeah.
We formed it together. We formed it on paper together.
Yeah.
We went and got our LLC. And that was that. And I gave it to him, and he looked at the front of it, and he goes, I'm in. I was like, I spent a lot of time on that. Do you want to read it?
Can you please read it?
So we were off to the races, and it was a phenomenal run. Lots of ups and downs, but it was,
as with any business, and just,
and one of the things,
stress, good times, bad times, like all kinds of stuff.
We were 50-50 partners. Everybody told us not to do that.
Yeah.
I remember one time there was a sponsor that was on the line, and they were like, okay, well, send us your EIN. I was like, ugh. We didn't have an LLC at the time. I had to make one that night.
Yeah.
And Brent was out of town or in outer space or somewhere. He wasn't answering the phone. Yeah. I wanted to talk to him about the 5149 because we had talked about the pros and cons of not doing that. And I'm like, I'm not going to just make this business with a business partner and put myself 51 and him 49. I was like, that already
without a
shady.
conversation. Yeah.
So I couldn't get a hold of him. I had to get that EIN made. I had to. So I made it 50-50. In all reality, it doesn't. On paper, 51% means you have the final say in everything. You're the visionary. Should I have been? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think you would. At the time, I've disagreed with that. My opinion, I should have. But in all reality, it's not going to matter. You can't have a business with business partners that one person's just being a dictator. It's just they're just going to leave, and then you're back to where you started. So, so that whole like, oh, never 50-50. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're opening a business where someone owns 49% of it, I mean, you're entrusting them with a lot, you know. So you might as well not get into business with that person.
Yeah.
So that was when Antihero, we moved studios from my den to his coffee warehouse, and then we were having a setup back, and like every time we filmed at this first location with the two of us, so it's technically the second location, we were having to tear down and set up every time. Every time. And
I know what that's like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, everybody? I want to let you know I have a new website format. Same website, donutshoppodcast.com, but this time I'm running it through Shopify. Make it much easier to purchase items because aside from the hats that I have up there, Donut Shop Podcast, PVC hats, the blue line snapback, laser mesh, nice and clean on the inside, comfy hats. I have some other swag, t-shirts, can koozies, just some other stuff that I put up there. I'm running the website through Shopify, and so it'll make it real easy for you guys to go on and purchase some stuff and support the show. So thanks for tuning in and following the show, and don't forget, donutshoppodcast.com. Thanks.
So he moved into a new coffee warehouse, and he said, hey, you know, we're going to build something for us, like a studio.
That was the one that I've been to.
Yes.
Yeah, for
so small,
shock. Yeah.
But it was the first time we actually had like a studio.
A dedicated studio.
You go in and you turn things on.
Yeah. It makes a lot of difference, man. It's fun for the tangible nature of knowing that it's there. Because obviously in your den, it probably wasn't 100% of the time set up, right?
Ooh, my ankles have been showing this whole time.
Yeah, me too. Jimmy's belly almost slipped out on the last one, but he got it fixed. But so was it when it was in your den? Was it set up? It wasn't set up 100%, like all the time. You kind of tinkered and put it together.
Yeah, I had a studio. I had the backdrop, the couches, the lights, the things on the walls were all set up, but the cameras had to be set up every time. Mics had to be set up.
It was a partial setup on that one. But so now you're at the point where you've actually got a studio. This stuff is legit and it's there. Mm-hmm. You know, we got a room. I mean, it was a little room, but I mean, it looked big. You know, it looked big on camera. So it was cool. And we ran that to about December 2024. Yeah.
Mike Cottville was actually our last guest in that studio.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Brent was going to war with the lease guy. Brent was a sublease guy, and the main lease guy was going to war with the owner of the pot. Brent just was like, we have to get out of here. It's crazy. They're like towing cars. They're all fucking at each other's throats.
Jesus.
And of course, you know, Brent's Antihero's profitable at that point, but we weren't like big time yet, you know. And so his first responsibility was his coffee and cigar company. That's what he was worried about. So I went and found us this studio.
Yeah.
The problem is that when I found it like a fucking heaping pile of shit. It was awful. So Brent came in. He was like, "This place sucks," and I was like, "Well, it has potential." So we spent 3 days painting the whole fucking thing. I will say this. Brent did a lot of the manual labor because when Brent wants to do something, he's
laser
driven,
focused.
like doesn't even fucking sleep, just does it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we've since repainted about half of it to different colors, but I mean, you know, and now this is our studio, and so it's the counterculture. It's more of a counterculture studio now. It used to be an anti-hero studio, but
with like a living room out front.
Yeah, like we had a fucking 200-foot long lobby, and it just kind of didn't serve any purpose. So
for the boys, but yeah, now it's kind of divided up. You know,
got like 1, 2, 3, 4 possible studios to record. It's huge. A lot of people don't know how big it is.
Yeah, like little spots. Like I haven't even seen it this way. This is the first time me coming in and seeing some of this additional stuff. Like this, I've said this is the set for Thursday nights, the night shift. When you watch that show, that's what we're sitting in right now that's got all these chairs, and usually there's several guests. Sometimes there's just three of you. There's several guests that might be sitting here, kind of just a panel. And the idea for that show is a live broadcast, but it's Thursday night, and it's us sitting on midnights, sitting around the car,
The gas station.
or the gas station,
Coffee, like
drinking a coffee. Maybe you're not smoking a cigar. This place, I can admit, this place smells a lot better than it used to.
yeah, we got so obviously everybody knows September of this year, Brent Tucker made the decision to leave Antihero. So a lot of people ask why, how, what, when. I've never really gone into it. I know people want drama, and they waited. Brent was super busy at the time he decided to leave. I knew I needed to change it. I couldn't have the Antihero podcast anymore without Brent Tucker, or at least a soft guy. It just wasn't going to work. I had always dreamed of having a broadcast, like a Monday through Friday radio show. That was like, a dream of mine to eventually turn the Antihero podcast into. So
and that's kind of one of the things that I felt like this was a good opportunity to have that conversation with you and hear that about that. So kind of, not Howard Stern, but like a Howard Stern, where it's a daily show that comes through, because that's what sometimes people, podcast, broadcast, what are the differences? Podcast is something that, like I'm doing, like you're doing right now with me, recording this, and this is going to go out in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe, like we can put this, I can drop this whenever. Broadcast is freaking live.
And it has to be consistent, because you're relying on a smaller, less clickbaity, you could make the thumbnail with me bug-eyed and say, Tyler releases all info, and it's going to get triple the clicks it would if it was, I talked to Tyler, and it's just a regular photo of me. And so broadcasts are about, you're trimming the fat of people that want drama and want to view for one particular person, or you're literally boiling it down to just the people that are going to be there forever and your work base of listeners and supporters. And then they're there every time.
Yeah.
And so I say all the time, I trim the fat. What I won't apologize for is the soft fanboys that have never served a day in their life. And there are the dudes that love to watch the Navy SEAL Special Forces guys, because they're like, oh man, I'm into guns, man, but I was always too overweight to ever don any type of flag and serve the public or my country.
Yeah.
And I never had the discipline to do it, but I love guns, and these guys are good Americans, and I can go on for days making fun of them.
Yeah.
But nothing against fat people, just fat people that worship special forces dudes I have a problem with. But anyway,
fawn over
I
them.
digress.
And with the broadcast, you're talking about multiple topics that are more so current events that are kind of ongoing and stuff like that, and you're giving more opinion
less guest based.
Yeah.
Like focus more. Yeah, like you said, what's in the news. Because I look at it like this. When I started a podcast, I'm not saying I was the first one to do a podcast. It's retarded, or even the first. But I knew nothing about it, and I had no one to ask, and I knew no podcasters, especially in my sphere of military and first responders. I knew none. The only way I got in touch with you is when finally mine was big enough and we crossed paths, and you were, And so I was like, well, I'm just going to fucking send it, and I'll learn as I go. As long as I have, if you either have to fire me or kill me to stop me. So I keep going, I'm going. And I did the one thing that all I don't say all, but most cops and service members that aren't tech based or even artistically based, like they go, I could have never done that. That's so hard. Now, to be honest with you, even 3 years later, it is insanely easy to start a podcast. The knowledge is out there.
Yeah.
Because when I started 6 months into a year, dude, every motherfucker was in my phone book was calling me, asking me how to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people now have podcasts, and a lot of people, And a lot of them have sustained it and are successful, but they weren't doing it when I started. So I was like, well, I don't know anything about broadcasting, and no one knows anything about broadcasting because I'm right back at that level where it's going to take me a year or two to get connections in the broadcasting game.
Well, and that's kind of the fun thing. And I look at that now and I feel like I've beat the retirement thing as a dead horse or but going into something that I've always done throughout my career, like, let me jump into something that's fucking challenging that I want to learn about and I want to do. And so the parts of my career, like what I was doing towards the end of this career right now, Road Patrol, there's not a whole lot that I don't know.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, and let's try and be a little humble, Justin. Like, there's plenty you don't know, but it's like I can go to pretty much every call, handle every call. And it's like that becomes monotonous.
The only thing that changes now is the things we sign off on. What are they called?
Yeah, the new policies and procedures.
Yeah, there used to be like 5 a year.
Or legal guidelines.
Now there's
that pop
5
up
a week.
Yeah, or that the state creates new laws and shit that we got to learn.
Yeah, that's the only
this is
thing
what
you
you do with a license plate. A little bit of the word is blocked out, and it's not an arrest; it's an arrest, whatever. But I find that doing this podcasting stuff and broadcasting stuff is a new challenge, is something to learn about, something to try and excel at and get good at. Maybe I'm not going to like start a new sport or something like that. I'm not going to go learn to play hockey.
Dude, you can't even sit in a chair without getting hurt now.
It's apparently, I mean, my fucking leg's going numb. I don't know what's going on. I might be passing a blood clot or something like that. Who knows? But I said earlier it was a tourniquet on my leg. But so this stuff's exciting and this stuff's fun to learn. And it's like, oh dude, like we can get really good at this and like be really good at it and have fun doing it. And then eventually, and we're working on some money. You're making money. I'm not making money, but people are making money. There's ways to make this a job. And so that's where I'm like, all right, I can retire. I'm going to retire. I'll get that money. I told somebody earlier, I didn't tell you guys like this, but like if you watch the show, The Weakest Link game show on TV where they do trivia and they kind of go like around the stage to the different contestants, and you're sort of a team, even though you're competing against each other. You answer a question right. The guy next to you answers a question right. Money keeps getting added. But occasionally somebody on that panel is going to go bank and they're going to hit it. That way the money goes to your bank, because if somebody gets it wrong, the money all gets wiped out. So like your stack of money gets wiped out if one person finally gets it wrong. So I told somebody, I felt like I was at the point where it might have been shaky. So I hit bank at 20 years and I'm getting out. So now that money went to my bank, i.e. my pension. Now I'm going to go collect my pension and I'm getting out.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm starting a new string where I'm going to be doing this podcasting stuff and kind of having fun with this and try and build that bank up. And eventually I may say, all right, fuck this podcasting stuff. I'm done. But who knows? I like it. It's fun.
No, and I mean,
I'm just kind of ranting on that or whatever. There's no real question in that, Tyler. But yeah.
No, I mean, it is super difficult to continue to do something when you're like, when it's not going, like, you're like, what am I missing? But once you find it, it's like you look back and you're like, I'm glad I never stopped.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it does open up a lot of opportunities. I own a couple of companies that wouldn't have been possible. I have friends that I wouldn't have had. I have now skill sets I would never have had without starting it. But, it all started with me buying a bunch of shit off Amazon. I mean, dude, I started with my own phone, 2 shitty mics.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good. That's what,
This thing was the most expensive thing I bought.
Yeah, the Zoom. Yeah, and these things are great. The equipment's great. I tell people, and I consider myself a podcast producer as well. And I tell people sometimes, like, what are you going to do? Everybody wants to know, like, what are you going to do when you retire? And I go, one of the things that I do is I consult. I help people out. Yeah. Like one of the guys in Counterculture, Mike Morgan, I'm going to produce podcasts for him like once a month. I'm going to bring my equipment, shoot his podcast, edit the final product and give it to him. Yeah. And then that's for a fee. And, he doesn't have the bandwidth. He doesn't have the time or the knowledge or the interest in at least learning that side of the field. Whereas I wanted to. So I've done that. And And so I can offer those kind of services. So it's fun to be able to do that. And then it also adds to our network to have people to be able to do that.
I don't know. Does anybody really know about counterculture? Have we ever talked about that on a podcast? Like,
not really. I think I throw it out from time to time, but yeah, I mean, I'll mark this as we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Yo, what's up, guys? I want to do a follow-up. I used to run an ad or commercial for my friends at HPTRT, Human Performance, talking about like testosterone therapy or, all that kind of stuff. I finally I've been using it. I've been, a member of the program for over 6 months now. I got my second round of labs, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. When I first was tested, I was at 330. I'm a 43-year-old man, and my test was at 330. I didn't even go through the injections. I'm going through a couple different types of prescription pills that they have to help me out. All legal, all on the up and up. But after this 6 months, my test has gone up to 910. As somebody who works out 3 to 4 times a week, wants to stay young, wants to stay healthy with all this stuff. It's helped with all kinds of stuff, like my focus, continuing to give me like the best sleep that I've ever gotten. I've enjoyed it. So go over to hp-trt.com and check it out. You can bring, if you've had lab work within the last 6 months, you can bring your own lab work and they'll start you up. If you haven't, then you pay for the lab work through them. Or you can just go to your own doctor and do your lab work through your normal insurance, which I'm sure has zero copay, if anything. And use the code DSP20, and that'll get you 20% off forever, as long as you're a member, or as long as you use Human Performance. So it's a great program, good people over there. So go ahead and get it done. And if you've been thinking about it, or if you've looked at recent tests in your testosterone and you want a boost of that kind of stuff, get into it, because you can also get the testosterone through them as well as peptides and other things. So DSP20 will get you 20% off. Good luck. So before the break, counterculture, we mentioned it and you kind of were asking, like, have we broken that down? Like,
origin stories.
Origin stories. Yeah. Bring up, what is counterculture?
I always had a vision of creating, I worked for a network. Okay, so I always had a vision of what counterculture is, but I worked, Antihero was underneath a network. They suck and I don't support them anymore. So, and I worked for that network also, 1099, because I'm really good at, they needed hosts for their shows and making reels and stuff like that. Like, so I worked for them, and, but we had I think it was the end of 2023. Yeah, it was the end of 2020, like October or something. We had a difference in opinion, and the owner is a insane person, and never took any of my advice. And I was like, I learned a lot from working from him, and I learned a little bit from him.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I went to our friend Reagan, and I was like, and I laid it out, let's create Counterculture Inc.
From Conduct Unbecoming.
Yep.
Formerly. The former podcast.
We don't know what's going on. He changes with his mission set every fucking day. But I got with him, and we started it. And I was like, well, what's the first thing to do? First thing we need to do is get the boys together that I had brought onto the original network that was fucking split in half now due to ideologies. And I remember I went to you, and I went to Kenny from Beyond the Barrel.
Yep.
I had vouched for the network. Then when you guys came on, you guys were like, hey, we don't know anything about it, but if it's a good network, you guys gave your RSS feeds. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's like giving somebody your baby when you've been podcasting,
Right.
you know.
You're giving somebody a key to your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily the breakup with that old media company, they were at least honorable in the sense that they gave everybody their shit back, no problems, because that could have been devastating for all. And we started. It took forever. I don't know. Do you remember like Megaphone and all that? We're trying to figure that out. Well, so me and Reagan started it, And we're like, let's just start getting content out there. So we start this podcast called Counterculture Inc. on the Counterculture. It's like Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on the album of Black Sabbath. Like,
yeah.
We were Counterculture putting out Counterculture podcasts on the Counterculture Inc. network. And
you're just trying to get some content out there and at least get something figured out.
And we had to recruit podcasts to be on our network. We had to figure out what we offered them, how they could benefit from us, but we're no name, so we were like, well, let's build it up. And then I remember Mike called us and said, I don't know what you're doing, but I want to be a part of it. Yeah. He's like, I don't care, I want to be a part of it. So I was like, okay, hey Mike, do you want to come? So Mike started filming with us. Then it was me, Mike, and Reagan, and then we were like, we were still forming the idea of the business, like we were forming it, and I was like, I'm telling you, we're all podcast guys, but I was like, we need a tech guy. We need somebody like so I pitched. I was like, we need Justin, and I called you and I pitched you the drummer analogy. I was like, we need a technician to keep the band together. Like we all want to be out there with our guitars, and I'm like, that's fine, but we need a drummer. Our band needs a drummer. Yeah. And so I was like, and I was like, he's not gonna be our camera guy. Like I was like, but we need a guy when we're doing back end stuff, because all of us are the face, but when a lot of businesses start, we're all doing back end work. Yeah. And I was like, so when I'm doing management, or Mike's doing this and Reagan's doing that, I was like, well, none of us know how to do the technical side, and you are a godsend. Yeah. Oh, so,
just like, thank you.
It's so nice to be able to go, hold on, let me put you in a group chat with Justin, and Justin's like, I already handled it.
Yeah. I was like, we'll get it figured out. So what he's talking about is like our distribution platform for the audio side, Megaphone. Tyler already knows YouTube really well, a lot of experience in that. But this Megaphone thing, it's through Spotify now, but it's called Megaphone. I don't know. It's just weird. It's out of a lot of our realms, but I like to pick up ideas like that, and like I was saying before, challenge myself with like weird new hobbies or things to do. So I try to learn the best way to do it, and I'll take that off their plate, and get that out of their way. Like, so Tyler can, like Tyler says, like he can just, hey, let me connect you with Justin, and he'll get you figured out on that.
Yeah. So, and then we lost Reagan. Yeah. Reagan went back to the professional side of life, being a career firefighter. And, when you're not either on your way out or done, you can't really go full ham. You can't go hard in the paint. When you're trying to keep a career. So ended up being me, you, and Mike. Yeah. And finding shows. So originally we were trying to find other podcasts to bring under. And all we asked of them was an RSS feed. That's it. Yeah. We tried playing with the whole, which we will bring back, but the whole membership fee, because we bring so much to the table. But through this new revamping of everything, we're like, we'll just put that on pause. But, and an
RSS feed is basically your address, but like your house address, and it's where your mail comes out of. So your podcast is your mail. You put your mail in your mailbox, and it gets sent out. You have no freaking clue what the Postal Service does, but it gets it there. So that's kind of like how I explain when people are like, what's an RSS feed?
I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's your RSS feed is your mail. You load your episode into your mailbox, and then the RSS feed is the Postal Service. So it sends it out to, if you create the connections, to Apple, to Spotify, to iHeartRadio, Amazon, all the places that consumers listen to their podcast, the audio side. And then now Spotify also supports video. But, so all of us as podcasters, we shoot these videos because we want to be able to cut reels for social media, micro content. But essentially, we also put it on YouTube because it's probably one of the faster ways to get monetized and at least get a little bit of change for doing this. And then if we're already sitting here talking, why not? We're beautiful people. We might as well record videos as well.
There's a thing I always tell people that start as like, don't sleep on the audio side, because the audio side is not as sexy and it takes a long time to grow. YouTube, I mean, when you first start podcasting, you're like, I'm on fucking YouTube. Like, I watched this shit for 15 years, and now I'm on YouTube. Yeah, and you're like, cool. And like, you don't understand, I'm on YouTube. Yeah. Like, that is so cool. And you're like, you could care less about audio. You're like, fuck Spotify. I don't give a shit. I'm on YouTube. Well, one of the things that guy at that other media company taught me was, don't sleep on the audio, because the audio is a very, very, very reliable source of data, and it'll show you where you're actually at. And a lot of big sponsors, although they do care about YouTube, they'll ask for your audio numbers. And if you've been putting that to the side, they're going to suck. There's really not much you can do to grow it.
Yeah.
You really do have to do video as well, because you need video for the social media side, which is your advertising.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can have one YouTube video because of the thumbnail do 70K views, and the next one be the same exact, everything's the same except the content and you have a different YouTube with not a Navy SEAL on it, and it does 10K.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to gauge where you're at, where your audio really never lies. It really kind of goes like this. So
yeah, because your true fans are really on the audio side.
They are. And then when you have something, it went something big, like an impact thing, like Brent leaving the Antihero Podcast. It wasn't, I knew everything was okay, but the YouTube side of the house really took a hit. But the audio side took a hit, but not nearly as bad. You got to see how many people actually stuck around.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to downloading it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I've always respected and paid attention to the audio side, because I know that that's how I consume podcasts. So I pay attention to it that way. Other than like your Squadcast, watching it live, because you have to. I don't sit down long enough to watch a YouTube video.
Well, I think,
unless when I worked at a desk, it was cool because then I could put it up in the corner, have an AirPod in, and listen and watch.
I think that you'll be able to know when it happens, and you'll be like, Tyler was right. I think that Spotify and all them are being silenced. Like, so you look at like broadcasting live. The first problem with doing that is the fact that you can't do that from your den. You can't do that from in here. You can go live on YouTube, but you can't go live on Spotify or Apple, or you can't go live on the audio side of the house. And you're like, it's 2025. We can literally do anything we want, but we can't do that. And I think that somewhere big, far away in the upper corporate levels, radio has said, we're not going to let Spotify do to us what Uber did to the taxi industry. Uber destroyed the taxi industry.
Yeah.
Right? Just overnight. It's way cheaper, it's way more convenient, it's way more effective. And so now, like, instead of listening to like, oh man, I want to see like Barstool Sports, they got 5 shows a day I love on there, I want to listen to them all on the radio. Well, they don't have a radio contract with SiriusXM. You have to watch them live on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
What's in the cup? Guys, what's in my cup? Blackout Coffee Company. We joined up with them. I've been drinking it and I enjoy it, and I think you may enjoy it as well. So you can go over to our website and click the link, or you can just go to their website, blackoutcoffee.com, and use our coupon code to get 10% off. The code is DSP10. So go over, check it out. Hey, come here. Come here. No, bring it in real close. I got something for you. Did you subscribe yet? Right down there. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification, because you got to know when we're going to give you a show. Do it. Go now. Go now. I'm waiting. Come on. Right there. All right, back to the show.
That's insane. There's no way to actually live stream RSS audio stuff. It's silly. And I know the technology's out there. It's a question of why is it not out there?
So when you kind of compare it that way, it kind of makes me think like, okay, so if I was a subscriber, I'll hold this. If I was a subscriber to SiriusXM, I'd be paying a fee.
You look like you're about to put your mouth on something icky.
Well, I'm trying.
You're like,
this table is going to fall over. That's what you were the that was the counterbalance. You took the counterbalance. But so if I was doing Sirius XM, I'd be paying a fee to be on Sirius XM or to listen to Sirius XM. So then essentially I should pay for YouTube Premium, because with YouTube Premium, I can go to the gym, put my phone in my pocket and stream a show, I think, because you could do YouTube Music.
Pretty sure.
So I should be able to listen to Antihero Broadcast while walking around. Or, because like me in my police car, I turn on the broadcast when I'm sitting in my car, and I put it in my earbud, or sometimes I just let it go over the speaker. But in the Ford Explorer, there's a delay between what's on the screen and what comes over the speakers. So sometimes it doesn't always work, or it doesn't always look great. But as the second that I like get out of my car, or I pause it or close my phone, I have to make sure my phone's open. But I don't pay for premium. So if I paid for premium, I could probably do that. But again, it's not as ideal as it would be if you were able to just open up or turn on your car and put it on 1170 AM.
Yeah.
There's the Antihero Broadcast on 1170 AM or whatever, in my local area.
And what you won't be able to do, what's fun about broadcasting live, we learned it on the Squadcast, is that we started the Squadcast, we're like, we need to do a live show. It was brought to us, like the idea was brought to us by somebody, and they're like, you're missing out. So me and Brent go, okay, so like, because that's the reason why I left Street Crimes, was because I worked the patrol schedule, 2 days, 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 3 off, whatever. So we were like, all right, well, we need one dedicated night a week where we could go live stream one night a week. Yeah. We were like, let's say Thursdays. Well, every other Thursday I worked.
Was your swing day. Yeah.
Yeah. Every other Thursday I worked, and then the one after that I didn't work. So it was on and off, on and off. Yeah. And I was like, and in Street Crimes we worked at night primarily. So that's not going to work. Yeah. So I went to day shift where it didn't matter if it was a work day. I was still off at 4:30 p.m. Still do it. So that's essentially, I kind of knew I was on my way out with law enforcement. I went fucking head first into this stuff. I wanted to make it work. So, yeah. And then so we started that, and I really underestimated how much fun it was to do it live. And now with the broadcast, we have all of our, like, I'm almost calling them like friends. I don't know who they are. We've never met.
Yeah.
But we know them.
Yeah. So that's now rolling into this new iteration with the broadcast idea. Instead of recording with guests, you guys are doing a broadcast twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. in the morning. Different than this night shift that we're talking about, but broadcasting from the Antihero studio, same logo, same backdrop, the name Antihero, but now it's called a broadcast.
Yeah.
And you're doing a live stream for 2 hours. So it's now a 2-hour one. And you guys are talking about current events, bullshitting about stories, maybe catching a Instagram video breakdown, but really just,
we're really working on segments. So I was like, how do you, like, if we wanted to go, we were struggling for 2 days a week. Like, what if we went 5? There's just not enough that goes on in the world to talk for 2 hours. So we were like, well, let's start dedicating segments and we're working at it. We're still really bad at it, but
and
like
scheduling, because like today we had K9 on for K9 Sports.
Today is also supposed to be our Ukraine update.
Yeah,
but our guy, our reporter,
you have two correspondents in Ukraine.
They're both busy. I hope. I hope that's not how we.
I'd rather it be busy than the worst. But just hope they're safe. But so that's another. So therein lies another part of the reach with this show is you have freaking 2 guys through whatever means that you guys had of them reaching out or hearing about the show. It had a big following already in the military community. They felt the need. Hey, you guys are talking shit about the Ukraine war. I can give you first person accounts. So now you've got literally 2 correspondents that are in Ukraine.
Yeah, and it's really surreal how many people know. Well, I mean, like we talk about all the time, that little white skeleton in there. That's like, we're slow. We had a mass exodus of people that were mad that mom and dad broke up when Brent left.
Yeah.
Brent offered to take everybody to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Brent came in one weekend and was like, hey, everybody, come. Well, I always said, like, joking, like, we're the mom. We're cooking dinner. We're making sure our laundry's done. It's not as sexy. And not that Brent did anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it was really like, it was like a disgusting amount of hatred towards Antihero because Brent left. And it was like your dad leaving your mom and saying, like, she sucked. Even though Brent didn't say it. So I don't know. That's the only comparison I can think of. And like,
yeah, well, and then it didn't help.
People had to place their anger on the breakup, and Brent was the face. He was the guy. He was the one everybody
People
loved.
chose sides when they didn't necessarily need to.
Yeah.
You know, now you're just gonna get 2 Christmases.
Yeah.
You know,
and we saw, like, today on the broadcast, we saw people are slowly coming back because, you know, what we did was we joke. I would go fucking crash out for a couple weeks on, like, you know, some people, but at the end of the day, we're like, hey, this show's for the boys. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah.
That's fine. And people started slowly coming back to us. We weren't fucking being assholes to them anymore, and they were like, hey, lost my temper. I misjudged you guys, you know what?
Well, and then there was a whole another coupling of unnecessary drama from psychopaths that, you know, wanted to fire off missiles towards this building anyways. So, you know, so you had that made
that was
it
at the same time.
That was all at the same time. So it was, you know, to be a movie, it was a perfect storm. It was 2 to 3 different hurricanes converging and creating some weird storm. So part of it couldn't necessarily be public knowledge because there was stuff going on. And part of it was just private conversations that didn't necessarily need to go out in the world.
Yeah.
So the public was left to decide on their own.
Well, gentlemen, we are in, like, a Thunderdome of which people do not understand. If me and you owned a hardware store and me and you were co-owners and you said, I want to leave, and you left, we wouldn't lose half our business because they loved you as the better owner.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. When you're the face of an entertainment style business,
Yeah.
there's a lot more. That's why it took so long, because me and Brent had to figure out how we were going to do this. What's fair?
Yeah.
What's fair? We had to take time, think about the other guy. You know,
meanwhile, the mantra is banging the drum of still got to put out episodes every week.
And that's what Mom did. Mom still did laundry.
Yeah. Mom's still got to do laundry. Mom's still got to cook dinner.
The Antihero broadcast, when we didn't miss, even during that, when we were the podcast, we had a bunch of fill-ins. Jimmy was a fill-in for 1 or 2 episodes before he came on full time. Jimmy Watson filled in. Like, we never missed one fucking episode. It would have been so easy to go, hey guys, we're taking a week off to figure stuff out.
Taking a time
out.
out.
It's really hard. Like, I got guys accusing me of the craziest thing in the world, and, you know, going to my internal affairs office, making up all these fucking lies about me. Right as other media pages and meme pages are putting it out before I even hear about it. Like, that's how
blood in the water.
that shit was.
Sharks started circling because there was blood. You know, there was fake blood in the water.
I never fucking quit one day.
Yeah.
And as stress, I mean, dude, I have gray hairs from that era.
Yeah,
The second part of 2025, what, like you said, was like when fucking Orlando got hit by 3 hurricanes.
Yeah.
It was 2005, 2004?
Yeah, 2005. Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was Orlando in 2005.
Yeah, you got Central Florida and you got wiped out. All the traffic lights were out, all the street signs were out.
I mean, but that happening really let me know who my ride or dies were.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you, it was the best thing that ever happened, because it literally just fucking filleted the fat off my life.
Trim the fat, yeah.
I mean, I'm not even talking consumers. I'm talking about friends that I didn't know I didn't need.
Yeah.
Guys like, you know, you, Jimmy, Mike, Kenny, like all the guys in that, like, dude, they were like, we know you, and there's just no, like, everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people were just like, well, you could tell they were Brent fans. They weren't like really my friends at all. And, you know, having people go, dude, what, like, they are ride or die with me, and they are going to crawl out of this hole with me. And like me and Jimmy always talked about, like, the dudes, when it's Broken Arrow time and it's time to get out of the foxhole, and you're like, I'm not leaving, everybody else can go. And the dudes that sit in that foxhole with you and go, well, I guess we're all dying together.
Right. Yeah.
That's the type of guys you find yourself left with.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing that ever happened to me, because now we're all turning around. And like this whole counterculture universe that we've created, I mean, people might not know it, but every show has its purpose and what it brings to the table, and it really helps other shows. Like, your show is, God, it's a breath of fresh air from a lot of your Sunday morning shows I look forward to, because it's just fun.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah,
positivity. Cool. It's people. Our shows can get really dark humor. Really, they can get mean. They can get nasty. But they're fun. They are always fun and focused. But it's just it's extreme a lot. It is nice to have a cup of coffee on Sunday mornings and just
kind of.
It's just not war. It's peacetime.
Kind of go over. I need to connect it on StreamYard to the Counterculture YouTube channel. So it'll drop on the YouTube channel as well, just so it fills in there too, just like you said, to show it's just a different flavor.
Yeah.
We got Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, all in the same machine.
And we have a lot of in-house shows that we've created in counterculture. Believe it or not, I mean, a lot of people don't know this. Night Shift is going to be a counterculture show.
Right.
You just can't, because of sponsors, you can't just be like, hey, this big show that you guys signed on to do as part of the contract that you were going to be offered, we're going to put on a channel that gets lesser views. Sorry. Like, that just doesn't fly. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's staying distributed.
It's dual branded.
Yeah. Like, it's brought to you by Counterculture, but it still streams on its own on the Antihero YouTube, along with the Counterculture YouTube. And it also audio streams only to the Antihero podcast. That has to wait. That has to run its course before we can make the final switch. But
okay.
But it brings a show for it's the only show on the network like that.
Yeah.
And then, we just added Shadowcast, which is the show we didn't have. The show that really deep dives into intelligence and like a Jimmy calls it like a David Hookstead style show.
Right. A deep news show where it's going to actually go into more of the nuts and bolts of stuff that he's researching for the broadcast.
I don't even think we have a show with one person talking to the camera the whole time. I don't think we do.
No. I mean, Mike does it occasionally with Copville stuff.
Yeah.
But his show's kind of all over the place with, he might do interviews. Mike's all over the place. He's got 17 different podcasts. We need to wrangle him on. We need to wrangle him in. But he adds plenty of content to the network, which is great. No, so it's fun, and it's big things, and I try to explain to people, and you say it all the time, the barstool type idea where you've just got multiple people, multiple different shows. People do crossovers because we've got open mic on Fridays.
Open mic on Fridays. That has turned into the hidden gem, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
and. People on our network don't even know when it's done. That's how new it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's new Fridays at 3:00. It's through StreamYard. So we're streaming. We're sitting at our own studios, our own houses, wherever. It's a live show. So we're engaging with the chat, but it's meant to be behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be a bunch of shit talking too. But behind the scenes, like telling the story about, something happened to me on my drive up to, or whatever. Jimmy, got a DUI on his way to
God, don't put that on him.
No, it was just because it was on the TV earlier. Jimmy and Mike talking about.
Oh yeah. You had the DUI test.
You had the DUI test or whatever. So stuff like that.
It's really good for crash outs. I've figured that out. When you have like Jimmy explained it best, when you have a room full of personalities live, if it's just always, doesn't matter how, if you all know each other brand new or if you know each other for 20 years, you get in fights with your squad mates when they fucking in the middle of the mission, in the middle of the fucking op or the call that you're on. People, if it's a hectic call, dude, Justin, what the fuck, man? And then when you're done, you're like, God, I did not need to yell at him like that. That was me being frustrated. He was just the other person there.
Right.
And so it happens, and it's fun as fuck to talk about.
So so you can rehash that, or sometimes somebody misses an episode or something like that, and there's a highlight like that where we can talk about it on open mic, and work through that. So that's another fun show.
We have the girls,
and then
we have a girl show.
We have a girl show, Unfiltered and Unfazed. With Heather and Tessa.
Yeah. And
they're about the girl stuff.
They're holding their own as far as being on an all guy network.
Yeah.
We're also so we have Counterculture Inc. Sports.
Yep. With K9.
We know nothing about you guys know about sport. I don't, but we're not sports fanatics. Like none of us have a sports show.
We don't deserve a sports show.
Or a sports network.
Yeah.
But we're like, you know what? We got K9. He's dedicated. He's loyal. He loves sports. Like, he is our sports guy. So we're like, we trusted him. We're like, hey, if we do a Counterculture Sports, will you show up and will you try as hard as you can? That's all I ask. Eventually, everybody on the network will get paid. I can guarantee you, once it starts taking off, everybody will start seeing money. And people are seeing money now. But, when you ask someone, when you bring them on, you're going to be doing this for free for a little bit. And if they stay on and they do their time, we all have been podcasting for years. We didn't start seeing money for years.
Yeah.
And so it would be beneficial for people to come on our network and start making money. That's ideal.
Yeah, that'd be the best way to recruit.
If we can't, then it's like, hey, man, you're part of the building process. So if you are going to be part of that process, you're going to be considered an OG, and you eventually are going to get compensated. But it's just not going to happen right now. But K9's awesome, and we're looking at doing Counterculture Gaming. Which
Holy
there's
crap.
a huge vacuum that Jimmy has constantly been telling me about. But it's if you don't know it, you don't know. Like, if you don't know gaming.
So is Jimmy going to be the next Mike, where Jimmy's gotten another show and he's talking about gaming now too?
We literally just talked about it for 10 seconds outside, but it's an idea I had. But it's an idea that came from his idea.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I like, we're kind of missing out on the whole Warhammer thing. And I'm like, okay, what is Warhammer?
Yeah.
And like, I kind of get it now, but like, I'm not a big gamer. But there's a whole sea of people out there that still resonate with our thing, but they game. So they might not know us now, but if we entered the gaming sphere, there's a whole bunch of people to scoop up like an ice cream scooper.
And essentially we've got the base that's there. So we've got the networking, we've got the experience of the podcasting realm and stuff like that. So you find somebody like a K9, and then we give him the ability to,
he manages his own stuff.
We give him a house.
Yep.
We give him somewhere.
We'll pay your rent.
Yeah.
We're not going to pay you, but we'll pay your rent.
Yeah.
You upkeep the house, though. You're the manager of your own show. I tell everybody, like, we can have all these show ideas, because I bust Mike balls all the time. He's got ideas for days.
Yeah.
Someone's got to manage these ideas. Like, everybody's pretty much capped out with their time and their time management. So, like this gaming idea, like, it's going to have to be thought about for a while, structured. It's going to have to come back to the table, everybody involved. There's been shows that have not made it, and it's just been because people quit.
Yeah.
And they're brand new shows, and we're not dumping money in them to keep them. Guys on Ground was one of them. Yeah. Not that anybody did anything wrong, but they just ran their course, and they picked, for whether personal reasons, professional reasons, they stepped away. I'm not carrying that show.
Yeah.
So,
we're not just going to pick it up and just jump into the place. It's those people's show, and we had the same thing.
Come back.
We produced only Other Than Honorable podcast. And that one, it was a great time producing it. The show did pretty well. It did okay, but it was a good show, good guys. It was fun to produce. We learned a lot doing it.
Yeah.
For network experience and stuff, but it just couldn't continue. It just wasn't feasible to continue doing the show, and off it goes.
So this gaming thing, like, if it, like, just for example, like, because that's the newest idea, somebody's got to run it and manage it. Yeah. I can do oversight for sure, and I can be there to troubleshoot for sure. But as far as, like, dude, everything you put out, show prep, thumbnail, distribution, fucking ads, like,
content.
everything, like every single thing, somebody has to be in charge of. And so you kind of like, you trust somebody with that, let them rip for 6 months, and you really get to see. I'm not talking not make mistakes, but I still make mistakes every day.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like just being there. And you really get to see somebody show up, give it their all, and then you're like, okay, does this show need this? Because we're reaching the point where the in-house shows that we produce and own exclusively, we're going to start seeing like network sponsors, and everybody's going to get. And I'm telling you, man, you know, a couple $100 might not sound like a lot, but when you've been fucking busting your balls for 6 months or 2 years, a couple $100 a month just for doing what you've been doing, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
it's that little fire that keeps you going.
Makes a little difference. It's a good reward, little kibble, little dog bone. Yeah, no, so it's cool. I mean, we can probably wrap this up. I got to get home, but yeah, no.
Talk about quitters.
Fucking quitters. Yeah, I'm trying not to quit my marriage. But no, it's fun, and I appreciate you jumping on this. We're just shooting from the hip. Didn't really have a plan of what to talk about, but this is kind of what I was thinking about. Yeah. Like, you know, like I wanted to go through a little bit of history of Antihero.
I've ever told the Antihero. I don't think from. Like what happened? I don't think I've ever sat down and just talked about that on a podcast. On my own, sure.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more emotional on my end. I hadn't really.
A little more emotional, and you know, I mean, there was a lot of fire going around during it.
Fingers and FUs,
but you're separated from that now. Yeah. Like there's you're over that hill now. Yeah. So now you can come back and you can reflect a little bit differently. You know, and I think if you ever have to tell it again, you reflect even more differently, because you tend to, when we talk about these sort of things or kind of give these stories, we're like, oh, wait a minute, I think I understand a little more. I think I understand a little bit more. Because you're also less emotional about going through it. You know, at that time when you did like the pre-show Thursday night thing, you were still in the corner, you know, doing this, sort of taking jabs and avoiding it, you know, and trying not to be Jake Paul with a broken jaw, even though I think that was fucking...
You think that was...
I think that shit was set up. I think he looked scared as fuck because he knew what he was doing. He's like, I'm about to take one on the chin and get knocked out.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, he was fighting a fucking Goliath.
Anybody who's seen the Mike Tyson fight, if you didn't know what a thrown fight was, you know now.
Yeah.
That was... Yeah. But that's all stuff to talk about on Counterculturing Sports.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. I got to figure out where the hell I'm going to put commercials in, because we only took one commercial break, but it's not like I have a lot. So, all right, everybody. Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for
the commercials you don't send my way.
No, I run my own commercials. Buy a hat, buy a t-shirt, buy a cup. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the show. See you on the next one.
Calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.